Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Monday, June. What is the date today? Holy cow, I didn't even write it down. 18th, June 18th, 2018. My name is Doug McKay. I am the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in this live go-to session to take a look at the market macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market. We drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. The session's going to take about 20 to 25 minutes. There's going to be a lot of context leading up to the hypos. If you're watching the video, usually the hypos are somewhere around 15 to 17 minutes in, but I strongly suggest that you watch the context, because then that gives you where the levels and the hypos are coming from. We do create multiple hypotheses. We do not know what the market is going to do. Therefore, we create multiple trade plans or hypos or scenarios that we'll execute on, wait for the market to open up, and then we execute the plan that best suits the market, not try to bend the market to our plan. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website. There's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here and to go to. And then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the regular trading hours. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. So taking a look at Friday. Friday, our main hypothesis was an open auction out of range. We were looking for a move down towards the overnight low, and then somewhere between the overnight low and the 69, we even said we could possibly dip down to the 66 area, find buyers, rotate us back up, fight the range high, and then break up and go in and take out that naked VPOC. We didn't quite get to the naked VPOC and the naked close, but for the most part, Hypo 1 played out. It just played out very slowly and very choppy. The nice thing is we had a wonderful zipper measured move on Friday that got us and was able to keep us in to the long side, and the target on that was 82.50, and we definitely got up into that target. Now, on Sunday night, last night, we had a big, they opened auction. We had the technical gap, the Globex gap. They closed that gap, got up to 86.75 and failed. And then they had this nice impulse wave with the zipper, and it gave us a zipper measured move down to the 64.50. So most people would have tried to buy this down here, but I'm telling you, if you see this happen and you put the zipper in, I'd caution trying to get long. I'd rather go with the continuation wave and target that zipper measures move. We won't go into that much more. I just wanted to point that out. So let's take a look at the news. We don't have a lot of scheduled news today, but we've got Duke and Dudley speaking. Dudley is speaking right now. Duke is starting to speak in 9 minutes, both from the Fed. They're just going to reiterate the Fed's position that they're looking to raise rates a couple more times this year. We did get the rate increase last week. We had rollover last week, so we're reestablishing ourselves within the September contract in the Sunday session, and after a Fed announcement and a rate increase. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see a little bit more downside with this weakness that we've saw overnight. In terms of other news, we've got NAHB housing market, but that's not a big one. We've got the 3-month and the 6-month bill auction. We've got Bank of Canada Governor Council speaking at 11:45. Then we've got Bostic speaking from the Fed at 1 o'clock. And then we've got Draghi speaking from the ECB at 1:30. And then we've got Williams speaking again at 245. So I'm sorry, 345. So a lot of speakers today, but not a lot of scheduled news. Taking a look at the COT report, you can see that the commercial paper continues to get more net short. The retail continues to get more net positive, and we're seeing a flattening here on the large spec. And again, I don't think the high is necessarily in. I think we're going to have another trip back into the 2800s, but it's just showing that we are starting to flatten. We are getting into a position that the retail is left holding the bag. So I caution, the risk is starting to shift from the upside to the downside. We're not there yet, but always good to keep an eye on what is going on. Now, each day I like to start with a very simple process. A lot of people say it's rudimentary, but it's very important because it talks about where we are within the time frames and where I can see validation of a possible major trend change, not just in one time frame, but in multiple time frames. So I start with the monthly. I use a 9 EMA. I use a 20 SMA. I'm looking for slope and separation, strength. Is price paralleling the 9? Do we have a strong trend? Or are we challenging the 9 or breaking the 9 and challenging the trend? Or are we closing and breaking below or above both the 9 and the 20 and a possible trend change? You can see on the monthly, trend is very much intact. We had 14 months one-time framing. February, they violated that one-time framing. So we're starting to look to see if there's weakness. They come in and they bang for 3 months on the 9 EMA, but unable to close below it. And then in June, we open and we push and we go up and we almost get to the 2800 again. But we're seeing a little bit of weakness, but the month open, is down at 2711 and a quarter. That is going to be a major level that you want to pay attention to. And again, even if we come down into the 2600s, we still don't violate the trend on a longer time frame. Going to the weekly, we were seeing the possibility of trend change with these 2 breaks and closes below the 9 and the 20, but they took it back, and then they started to make this move and get the continuation pattern, but we're getting a little bit of resistance here. A test of the 9 EMA is going to take us down into that 41 area. 45.50 is our key line in the sand. Remember that the 41.75 was a key level to us in the June contract. So a test of that level would just bring us back to challenging the trend, but does not violate the trend. If we don't hold the 41, the target below is going to be here at the 27.15 area, and the move to this naked cross right here. Going to the daily, but the trend itself is still intact on the weekly. On the daily, we are getting the continuation pattern, but we are challenging the trend right now. We're breaking below the 9 right now. We haven't closed below it. A move down to the 20 will take us down into that 53 area. So we are seeing some weakening here of the trend. On the 4-hour, the intraday, you're seeing that we have seen a rollover. We had a retest of the 20. They failed off of it twice, and now we've got slope and separation to the downside and a possible change in trend for the time being in the 4-hour. And then just going to the 30-minute, basically the same picture. We broke below, we tried to hold above, and then we've had this big move down and tried to find balance. And buyers down here at the 72, they failed, and they're pushing down a little bit lower. So if we look at this in terms of structure, we had the breakout of this larger value area. We accepted price above the breakout at the 27.50.50. Then we pushed up, and then we established value at the 2771 area. Is it 27? Sorry, I just want to bring this to the front so I can see for sure. Yeah, 2771, and then we pushed up. Now, if you look at the 3-day profile, I'm just going to take this off for a minute. If you look at the 3-day profile, until we brought in the Thursday and Friday, the sellers were stepping in that 93 area. And then they tried to hold value on Thursday at the 89, 88 level. And then on Friday, they went up and tested that level, okay, and they didn't hold. And now in the the Globex so far, we've come down and we've tested the 7150 and didn't hold and broke through the CLVN at 68, and we're challenged. We broke below the low of Friday, and we've just dipped back inside. So this Friday low is going to be very important. If we hold the Friday low, my main hypothesis is the fact that we'll probably get stuck inside of this wick right here and reestablish price acceptance somewhere between the 71 and the 78 area. And if I bring the profile, so we rotated down into this 3-day profile, so I have to draw a new profile, and you can see that the most traded price, even bringing in Friday, is still up at the 88 area. So a trip back up into that 88 area if we hold the value area is going to be very important and hold inside of the prior day. You can see that the value area low here is sitting at the 65, 66 level. If we don't hold, the next area that I would be looking for a bounce was where they tried to hold value the last time we broke out of this value area. And if that doesn't hold, a break below the 59 should bring us all the way back down to challenge between the 50 and 45. And anything between the 45, then I'm seeing major weakness coming in, and a trip back down into the 22 to the 15 area would be a high probability because they have failed to hold value above the longer term time frame value area. So right now we're still in price discovery above the recent value area high. Key levels to pay attention to today is obviously going to be the over underline, which is the 65.50. Then below that, 60 to 61 area, down to the 59 and a quarter area, and below that, look for weakness, and I'd be targeting this 50, 75, 50, 50 area. Above the prior day, or over, which is going to be our over underline, I'm looking for a rotational day inside this wick, or what I call getting stuck in the wick, as we properly auction this area off and see if we can get a VPOC shift from the micro composite VPOC from the 88.75 down here, accept this price and continue up higher. So this is going to be our over underline right here. Oops. Our key line in the sand does not change. It is still the down here at the 45.50. Why is it so low? Well, because the context really doesn't shift, okay, until we get below this. All right, so we have our over underline. Key line in the sand above is going to be up here in the 88 area, and we get that VPOC shift. Or if we don't get this VPOC shift and we get back up here. The 20-period daily ATR is running at 24.80. That's the full session average true range based on the overnight low so far. our upside ATR target. Actually, I have to just make a quick adjustment on that because I did it from 64. And then we dipped a little bit lower, 88 and a quarter, so it didn't really change. All right, so our daily upside 88 target is up at 88 and a quarter. We've got the naked VPOC. We've got the naked close just above that. Our overnight high is 86.75. Our week open is 27.80. We have a TPO single from Friday at 79.75. And then we've got our naked VPOC at 75.50. We're going to have a fairly large gap from where we closed on Friday at the 27.84.50. So gap rules are going to be in effect. If we opened right here in the 66.50 area, our half gap fill is going to be back to the naked VPOC, and basically what was going to be my main hypothesis as we trade today. So what is taking a look at the overnight inventory? We've got a B-shaped profile. They sold off, I don't know, on the Asian news. I don't know what the news was. I couldn't find anything. But then we balanced out pretty much through most of the European early session, and then we've just been grinding down lower, tested the low from Friday, dipped down to the 63.50, and then we're moving back up. We are seeing some weakness. We have an LVN right here at the 68, 69 area. Do I have a trade level there? I should have one there. And the value area doesn't mean much. So in terms of our overnight high is 86.75. Currently, our overnight low is 63.50, but that can change. And then in terms of hypothesis, I'm looking for an open auction just inside a range or just outside a range. I'm looking for a dip down, taking out the overnight low, coming down here into the 61 to 60 area, finding buyers, rotating up, and basically getting stuck, okay, in the wick and trading in the lower distribution here and going sideways today. That is hypo 1. Hypo 2 is a open auction just in range or just out of range, a push up into the 69.50, maybe up into the 75, but somewhere between the 70 and the 75. I'm looking for sellers to step in, initiative sellers, rotate us down through the overnight low, come down to the 60 and a quarter area, and then fail and push down into testing this 50 area, between 50 and 55 area, and basing down here before rotating back up and closing somewhere in around the 60 to 63 area. That is hypo 2. Hypo 3 is a failure day, a open auction in range, a push up somewhere between the week open and 75. I'm looking for strong sellers stepping in here, rotating us down through the overnight low, coming down to this 56 to 60 area, chopping here, failing, pushing down to the 45.50, and then getting a late day liquidation break down into this 36 to 32 area. That is hypo 3. And then hypo 4 is a take-back day, open auction, in range, a push down, either failed to take out the overnight low or take it out very quickly, then find buyers, rotate us up into the 75 area, take out the naked VPOC, chop between the 75 and the 80 area, and then push through and come back up here and come up and take out the overnight high and the 88 and a quarter, and then basically go sideways up here as we chop back inside of that microcomposite VPOC right now. So that's my 4 main hypotheses in ES. In gold, well, gold failed to get and hold above that key level at the 1309, 1310 area. It looked like they were going to win it out, but they failed. And what did they do? They broke below the 1300, rotated us down back to that 1295.90. We said the next time back there where we were likely to go deeper and come down into the 1285.30. And we did that on Friday. And so far in the Globex, we're finding balance. Okay, 2-day microcomposite VPOC is 1283. We're chopping in this level. If we don't hold this level and move back up to the 1295 and chop there, then any break below the 83, I'm looking for a bigger push down into the 73 area. Okay, you can see this fractal low, and you've got 73 and you've got 69. 68 area, which are the next two areas I'm looking for a bounce. Barring that, this fractal low is likely not to hold, and we're looking for a bigger move down into this 1243.60. If we can bounce right here and rotate back up and get back inside of this value area, then I'd be looking for a move back to test the 1300, and then possibly, finding the buyers just a little bit lower and where we expected to find them down here in the previous balance area. So key levels to pay attention to is 83. Below that, target the 78. Any break of the 78, look for the 73 area. And then I'd be looking for a possible bounce there, back up, and then creating a new balance zone microcomposite down in this area to see if they can, base and then start working their way up. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.